today's session of Divorce Court. Timothy Dixon says Kordetta was the perfect wife until she broke her marriage vows.
I ain't sleep with but one of your friends, and he was my friend.
Excuse me? You slept with one of his friends?
First time she was with the female.
Okay, but didn't I ask you to join and you did?
So I'm in a rock and a hard place.
So you're glad you didn't have any children by her?
We tried, but Mrs. Dixon passed
Oh,
history.
don't even try Mrs. Dixon, because after you, I seem to get pregnant fine and dandy.
Obviously, the two of you should part ways quickly.
It's the case of Kordetta Dixon versus Timothy Dixon in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Timothy Dixon versus Kordetta Dixon. Mrs. Dixon, what do you want this court to do for you today?
Basically, just have him pay his debts that he owed, that he said he would pay, that he did not pay, and hopefully just resolve this whole matter, basically.
That's all you want? What debts did he say he was going to pay that he didn't pay?
We have about 4 bounce checks that he said he would help me pay, and he never helped pay them.
4 bounce checks. Is that a history of this marriage, bouncing checks?
No.
Financial problems?
Yes.
A little.
There's financial problems, yes.
What's the history?
We've always had financial trouble. Both ended up filing bankruptcy. And,
You've already filed bankruptcy?
Yes, ma'am.
So why weren't the debts covered when you filed bankruptcy?
These happened right after we filed bankruptcy.
So how do you file bankruptcy, then the next week you got financial problems again? That's supposed to clear it up.
Wasn't the following week, ma'am. What ended up happening was, on a couple of the occasions, I'm not exactly sure which all 4 of the checks were. I know it was a check that I incurred on my way to work. I had bought gas. I paid for gas with a check. I wasn't aware there was not money in the account to cover for that check.
So nobody knows how to balance a checkbook in this marriage?
Apparently not.
He doesn't.
Nobody knows how to count?
I do.
Can you count and
Yes,
add and subtract?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all it is.
To me, the car that we drive, that we had, does not take $29 of gas.
So you think he put too much money in the gas
He
tank?
didn't use it all on gas.
What do you think he used it
He
on?
bought junk food for his trip to his job, which wasn't but about 15 minutes away.
So he can't buy junk food? Is that a problem in this marriage?
He doesn't even communicate with me about any checks that he writes.
Oh. So when you asked her for the checkbook that morning, did you ask her how much was in it?
No, ma'am, because I assumed that when I told her, I said, I need the checkbook. I need the checkbook so I can get gas. Okay, if there was no money in the account, then to me, if I don't have no money and she come ask me for money, I'm gonna tell her I ain't got no money.
He had enough gas to get to work.
But when he asked you, did you know how much money was in the bank?
I knew exactly how much was in the bank, and I wasn't counting on him spending $9 for gas. He only needed about $5.
This marriage is ending over $9 for gas?
No, this marriage is ending.
A lot more than that.
The marriage is ending because to me, he was immature, and it felt like I was raising my child again. I already have one. I shouldn't have to tell him when to take a bath or when to brush his teeth.
Oh, no,
okay, now see,
Yes,
see,
I did, because
ma'am,
you was
you know
in the military and would not
if you
Hold on. You are not telling this court that you had to tell a United States serviceman when to bathe and when to brush his teeth.
Yes, I am, ma'am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. He was an engine.
Ma'am, I did.
He worked in the
I
engine.
did.
He came home late. He came home oily as I don't know what, and he would sit his little funky tail up on the couch and just sit there for at least 15, 20, 30 minutes on the couch.
Just to take a breather.
Greasy?
That's all it was,
But
take
he
a
was
breather.
greasy. No, it wasn't, because if I didn't tell you to take a bath and brush your teeth, you wouldn't do it.
So you thought that he should come right in and take a bath?
Yeah, I do, but he should have at least came home and took off them nasty dungarees instead of putting them on my couch.
That may be, there's a difference in coming home and sitting on your couch. Why isn't it his couch?
Okay, our couch.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay,
so why can't he sit on his couch with his dirty dungarees?
Because other people sat on that couch. Nobody wants to sit on grease. Nobody.
Other people sat on the couch?
I was in the military too.
A lot of people
and
didn't want to sit on that couch too.
Every time I got off work, I took a bath. So he should have did it too. You shouldn't have to tell nobody to take no bath. Even when he wasn't at work, he still had to be told to take a bath because he didn't like to. If he do now, that's him and his cleaning now. But before, he didn't like to.
So I think that you perhaps thought that you had to tell him to take a bath because he wasn't taking it as quick as you thought that he should. This is an adult. He can decide when to bathe.
Exactly.
He just not turning grown. He wasn't grown when we was married.
I did military. I was in the military for 4 years. Got an honorable discharge. There's no way you're gonna turn around and do 4 years in the military. I never failed an inspection. You're gonna fail an inspection if you ain't clean. Cleanliness is a major. Cleanliness is a major.
Miss Dixon,
I cook. I clean up the house.
Never cooked. You hardly ever cleaned up. I had to tell you to help me clean up, so don't even lie like that. And you don't know how to cook. You burn up every pot we had.
Since he was such a dirty man and you had to tell him how to bathe, how'd you get these children?
No, they're not his.
Ain't none of
they
mine.
are not his.
Ain't none of mine.
Thank God.
Knock on wood twice.
They are not his.
I ain't
You're
had
right.
no kids.
Knock on there 5 times. I'm glad.
So you're glad you didn't have any children by her?
Yes, ma'am. Well, for one, there was a reason why we never had no kids. We tried, but, you know, because of Mrs. Dixon's past history.
Oh, don't even try Mrs. Dixon. That was you and your, I'm supposed to go get my sperm counted and didn't go.
But,
so don't even try, because after you
Mrs. Dixon.
Somebody's 15 past abortions, messed up her too.
No, I did not have 15
so
past abortions, so don't even lie like that.
Okay, my bad.
No, we're not going
I didn't
there.
have 9, so don't lie like that.
Mrs. Dixon, no, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
You can say that better. You can say that because of
I
her
apologize.
past.
Because of her past medical history, we weren't able to have children.
Unable to have children.
No, you weren't able to have children because after you, I seemed to get pregnant finally.
Okay, well,
so now you're pregnant?
I'm not pregnant now, but once he finally left, yeah, I ended up getting pregnant. So it couldn't have been me.
Before you
was
divorced
him.
him?
Yes.
Okay, now prior to me getting
So
involved.
now answer that, Mr. Dixon. She said that she could have a baby.
I had no problem there, Your Honor. Prior to marrying her, when we first met, which was in Navy A school, there's another female that was pregnant by me.
She said she was pregnant by you. She slept with every one of your friends.
Mrs. Dixon.
Same thing you did, so what's the difference?
I slept with but one of your friends, and he was my friend over yours.
Excuse me? You slept with one of his friends?
It was my friend. He just knew him, too.
And you're talking about immaturity?
And she was 24. I was 19 when we got married.
That I was wrong.
Do you think that that's not immature?
No, I admit that I was wrong for sleeping with his friend.
And you think that's very mature when you sleep with somebody else, with your friend and you're already married, your husband's friend?
No.
I mean, that's the last time she cheated.
It's been more than that?
First time I cheated.
First time she was with the female.
Okay, but didn't I ask you to join? Didn't I ask you to join and you did?
Okay, and it's
Wait
supposed
a minute.
It's supposed to be a one-time thing.
What's going on with the military these days? I thought military. Oh my goodness! If there was one place in America I thought that there was honor, and I thought that there was something left in terms of morality.
Oh, I had morality during the marriage. I didn't cheat.
You agreed.
I was home.
You didn't cheat. How you catch
I was home every day.
If you didn't cheat, how you catch crack?
Joe.
I did what I had to do.
You let her calm down and we talk to one person at a time.
I mean, that's what I dealt with the whole year and a half.
Be quiet for a minute. Now, Ms. Dixon, I'm not playing with you. I'm real serious.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you want to tell your side, and I'm going to let you do that. But I can't hear both of you at the same time. The next time, I'm throwing you out of here.
Yes, ma'am.
That's fair warning.
When divorce court returns, Timothy testifies about the affair that ruined the marriage.
So your wife told you that she wanted to have sex with a woman and wanted you to approve of it?
She wanted me to be there.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in the case of Timothy Dixon, who says his wife Kordetta went too far when she asked him to watch her have sex with another woman.
What I was about to say before I was rudely interrupted is I thought the military was the one place left that was teaching some morality and honor in marriage and relationships. And now you're telling me that both of you are in the military and you're cheating on each other and both of you are breaking your marriage vows, having adulterous affairs. Doesn't the military court-martial you for adultery anymore?
Yes, ma'am.
If they catch you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So now your adulterous affair, when did it take place? While you were still in the Navy?
While I was still in the Navy.
So
well, I didn't have an affair. I never cheated. Okay. I never went outside my marriage for happiness.
How you get carried?
Okay. When this happened, when this incident happened, what happened was I was out to sea. We had a mutual friend, and she was lesbian. Well, she was bisexual. Okay. My wife was hanging out with her and everything, so she became curious. Wrote me a letter to my ship, telling me that she had this curiosity, and she wanted to discuss it with me when I got back. When I came back, we talked about it. She told me that she had wanted to try it. She was like, you know, she just wanted to do it one time just to get rid of the curiosity.
So your wife told you that she wanted to have sex with a woman and wanted you to approve of it?
Yes. And I told her, and she said, as well as, but she said not only she wanted me to approve of it, but she wanted me to be there. She wanted me to be a part of it.
Now,
so what I ended up doing was, initially, my response...
Is this what marriage has come to?
No, ma'am. Initially, my response was no, because no matter what you do, if you do it with a man or a woman, you still cheating. And that's going outside our vows of marriage. I said, I'm only doing this one time. I don't plan on ever doing it again.
So you agreed to do it?
Yes,
No, what I asked her was, I finally asked her one day, I said, look, I'm going to ask you a question. I want an honest answer. I said, now, if I tell you no, are you going to do it anyway?
And
she was like, you want me to be honest? I said, yes, be honest. She said, yes. She said, if you tell me no, I'm in her doing it anyway. So I'm in a rock and a hard place. If I tell her no, she going to do it. If I say, yeah, at least I can be there, and she says it's going to be a one-time affair, so okay. I said, okay, fine.
No,
we'll go
or you
ahead
could tell her
and do it.
no because you didn't believe in it, and then you didn't have to be there, and then if she did it, that was her decision, and she make it on her own. She's an adult.
She was going to do it anyway, whether I agreed to it or not.
Didn't mean you had to concur and be there and be a part of it, because now you're just equally as guilty.
This is true, and that was my mistake.
Obviously, the two of you should part ways quickly.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what can I do to help you get away from each other?
Just have him pay the debts that he signed and agreed he would pay.
What he agreed he was going to pay?
He agreed he would pay half of each one of the bounced checks, and he agreed that he would give me $150 of a lost money order I never received.
$150 of a lost money order?
He said the money order was lost. That's what he said.
So if it's lost, why should he give it to you?
Because he had to pay it to me. It was his money order he was paying to me. The Navy told him he had to pay me $150, and he was supposed to put it to me in a money order and mail it to me. I never received the money order.
Oh, so you still want the $150?
I still want my $150.
Now, give me the document that you said is some debts that should be paid, that he promised to pay.
Ma'am.
Thank you, Joe. Hold on.
Okay.
I can read one thing at a time.
All right.
This is not an agreement. An agreement is both parties signing the document.
He did sign it. He signed it on the side. You have to look on the side. He did sign it. He signed it and he wrote, I agree.
I see something that says, I agree.
That's how he writes. If you look on the other paper,
And is that TD?
Signature.
But
Yes,
this doesn't say he'll pay it. It says, if Tim pays a bill, then I'll pay a certain amount. If Tim pays X amount of dollars to a company, I'll pay the late fee. If Tim pays 24, I'll pay this. You said if he pays, you will pay that.
Right, but
Okay,
it was
so
both
did he
of our
pay?
debts. No, he didn't. He never paid it. And it was
Did
both
you
of our
pay?
debts. Yeah, I paid the whole thing so that because it
Now,
was
where's
through my
the proof
bank.
that you paid?
I didn't bring it with me.
Oh. Didn't bring that.
No.
She signed a separation agreement stating that the joint account, we would separate from the joint account, and any bills that would occur before the date of the, anything that was occurred before the date of the separation and anything after the date of the separation were our each and own responsibility.
Where is that agreement?
It's right here, ma'am.
Let me
It's
see
right here,
that.
but he also turned around and called me right after we signed and said, I tricked you because I tried to read the whole thing. He was like, no, just hurry up.
In the third paragraph on the first page, ma'am, it says, whereas each are signing this voluntarily.
You gonna
memorized
trick me
it.
to have
we
that
are,
do it, though,
we are
right?
signing
'Cause he tricked me
voluntarily
to do it.
without duress or
He wouldn't
coercion.
even let me read our
And it
separation
also said,
Let me read it. I don't need you to recite it to me. I read pretty good. Used to. See if I still do. This is another one of those military documents.
Yes, it is. Something he had drawn up and gave me approximately 10 minutes to read this whole package and said, hurry
Well,
up, I
maybe
gotta
if
go
you
back
had
to work.
stopped talking, you would have read it.
I didn't even talk to him.
she read initial each page, ma'am.
I did not
At the
read
bottom of the
initial
page.
each page, so do not sit here and lie.
So those aren't your
initialed
initials on
each
the
page
bottom of the
because you
page.
Stop
rushing
the
me.
bickering among yourselves. Let me read the document. Close your mouth. And don't part your lips again until I tell you.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict. And an update on the case of Laura Hagerman versus Robert Hagerman.
I go in my wallet, the $30 I had in my wallet was gone too. It went sailing right off to the stripper bar.
That's bull.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back and the verdict is in the case of Timothy Dixon, who says his wife Kordetta had an affair with one of his friends and asked him to have sex with her and another woman.
Did you sign that separation agreement?
Yes, I did.
Did you read it?
No, he only gave me 10 minutes to read this whole package because he kept rushing me.
You were in the presence of a notary.
No, we were not. When he gave me this paper, I was not in front of anybody but him.
So the notary lied?
No, the notary was there when I signed the last page. He was not there when I was reading this and trying to sign it off.
So you read it and then went to the notary later?
He had the notary sitting right on the boat, and I asked him
That's what I just asked. Was the notary present when you were reading it?
He was on the boat, but not in front of me when I was reading it.
So you had the document in a different room?
Right.
And then you went in front of the notary and signed the document?
To have it signed, yes, we did.
So put your hand down. Going in front of the notary, part of it says that I've read and I understood everything that I've read.
Because when I got to that one page that says about the payment part, he was like, hurry up, just hurry up and sign that. And then he called me once I got all the way home.
Well, it seems like he told you to do a lot of other things and you didn't do what he told you.
Most of the things he told me to do, I did do.
Bottom line is you signed it.
Yes.
I'm ready to rule. In terms of the debts that you say that he owes you for and he promised to pay, first of all, I don't have any proof that he didn't pay them. I don't have any proof that they're outstanding. I don't have any proof that you paid them, so I don't know. You say that these were checks that were written that later bounced. So rather than giving me this document, you should give me the document that says the checks bounced. Correct. And it's still owed. Then I'd be certain that there's money owed.
But it's not still owed. I paid it all. I paid it out of my pocket because that was on my credit.
Okay. You haven't brought me any proof.
Right.
Secondly, when you sign agreements like this, you should read it. The first paragraph or the third paragraph told you that he had an attorney. So that in and of itself should have been a clue to you that you shouldn't have been signing this agreement without getting someone to read it for you, interpret it, and understand it. I don't care that he was telling you to hurry up and sign it.
I couldn't afford an attorney. He was getting payment from me and wasn't
Dixon,
giving it to me.
Bottom line, you say he told you to hurry up and sign it. Based upon what I've seen before me, these short minutes, this man can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. And you told me yourself that you always get your way. So if you have that kind of attitude, my way or no way, he couldn't make you sign this document. What happened is you probably were in a hurry to get rid of him. You didn't care. You were willing to sign anything then, but 2 years later, hindsight says, I shouldn't have done it. So now you come back to me and say, he didn't give me time to read it. You had it in your hand. You could have taken all the time you needed to read it. If you didn't, that's a mistake. You'll learn in the future. Anybody push a document under your nose and say, read it and hurry up and sign it, you just look at it and you read it. People can't make you sign things. That goes for insurance contracts, automobile contracts, anything you're signing. Be aware that when somebody says, oh, you don't have to read it, just sign it, that should be a caveat to you. Read every single line before you sign it. Because once you sign it, it's going to be assumed that you read it. And to argue later that you didn't is not valid because you should have. So the court's order is the separation agreement is made 2 years after this document is signed. So this separation agreement is binding and he does not have to pay you the additional money. So ordered. Court's adjourned.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Laura Hagerman versus Robert Hagerman.
This was a violent, tumultuous marriage. This man has put me through 10 years of hell.
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in Divorce Court. Laura Hagerman said her husband Robert put her through hell and she wants out of this marriage.
This was a violent, tumultuous marriage.
I was under the impression when two people got married that it was supposed to be a partnership. We're supposed to help each other.
What did he do for me that I needed him?
But Robert said he tried to make the marriage work.
I didn't realize that I was going to have to be husband, housewife, clean, cook.
I go in my wallet, the $30 I had in my wallet was gone too. It went sailing right off to the stripper bar.
That's bull.
Laura wanted Robert to repay her for damages to their apartment, and Robert wanted the judge to order Laura to share some of their furniture. The judge ordered that they share the furniture, but said that Robert did not have to repay her for the damages. Since their appearance in court, Robert has agreed to give Laura sole custody of their 2 children. Laura looks forward to spending time with her 2 sons and her new boyfriend.
I really do hate the verdict because I believe that he knows that that paper was signed before this separation agreement was signed.
I'm very, very, very happy with the judge's decision. It was perfect. The judge's decision was perfect.
Oh, he gonna get paid back for tricking me. Trust that he will.
She was given an opportunity to read it, like it said on the paperwork. She can read it. She didn't want to read it, so, you know, hey, that's not my fault.
I will get my money.
Judge, that judge in there is just like my mother. You don't cut her off or nothing.
I still trust men, I do.
As far as getting married again, if I do it again, it'll be somebody who is mutual, 50-50. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it does. I'm not gonna close my eyes on love because of one bad apple.